There's this product that everybody knows, and there is no brand that owned this product.
If anyone ever thought about açaí, they thought about you guys first.
We have 1,000 locations, but I still see us as a startup.
For you to already have in your mind that you wanted 100 stores within 3 years is already psychotic. I think you're actually fucking crazy.
My partners thought so also.
Why do you think people look and say, oh, he only wants to make money because he wants to buy the nice house or the nice cars or the nice watches?
I think that açaí has the potential to be the new Greek yogurt or coconut water.
You were diagnosed with cancer.
It was the size of a golf ball, and it was already there for like 3-4 years. Cancer in August. I got the surgery for the cancer in October 16. Insurance payout in like mid-November, and I opened the first shop in December 6th.
You did something, my dream, purchasing a soccer team.
The first image in my head was we can create a super strong connection between football and motorsports. Have a 25,000 people stadium inside of the most famous racetrack in the world.
I've always had this argument with entrepreneurs who said you can't be in a relationship and grow a big business.
For me to have someone that I love, I can teach and learn from, it's all upside. I don't see any downside. Aryna's dancing here. This is gonna go viral because she's like doing TikTok shit.
Where I always like to start, especially when I sit across from high performers and people who have built insanely massive businesses, I like to start from their childhood. I feel like a lot of people don't get to speak about their childhood because I think that upbringing plays a big role in the success of a lot of people. So walk me through your childhood. We don't got to go too crazy, but what was young Georgios like? How was your upbringing? Were you a good kid? Were you bad in school? Walk me through all that.
So I was, I'm Brazilian born and raised. From a Greek family.
Okay.
Okay, I say I'm from a Greek family because that's the main thing. With if your dad is Greek, you're full Greek.
You're Greek, yeah.
There's no way out. But my dad's family is Greek Austrian.
Okay.
And my mom's family is French Italian.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a mix. But yeah, I was born and raised in Brazil. I would say through a very, very Greek cultural roots-oriented family. So that definitely guided me on the way I spend my childhood, on the way I see stuff now, and etc. And by that I mean that like we're super like family-oriented. You can talk bullshit, and I learned that from super early age. You can talk bullshit about your family within your family. You can never do that when there's some, someone that's not part of the family with you. And yeah, so I think that basically created like a super strong base for me to make sure that I always had the most important people in my life backing me up no matter what, like whatever I chose to do. So yeah, I went to school in Brazil. I was never a great student. I can say that I'm smart enough or street smart or whatever. So I figured out how to just go through and stuff. But I never loved like going to school or math or chemistry, and I always knew that would be helpful to a certain point, maybe to make sure that I could do stuff that I didn't like. But I. From super early age, I always admired people that built stuff, and I had my granddad, my Greek granddad, that was an entrepreneur. He came from Greece to Brazil right after the Second World War, so he was an Allied soldier in the Second World War, Greek. My grandma, his wife, was working for the German. She didn't have an option, of course.
Yeah.
And then they met. They could run away and hide in Vienna and Austria for like 2-3 years. My aunt was born there, and then they figured how to just escape in a ship, and they arrived in Brazil with $10 in the pocket. Of course, they didn't speak any Portuguese, and that was like the 50s, like the late 40s, early 50s. So the guy made his way up to become like a super successful entrepreneur in Brazil, and I always looked up to him, not just because of the professional success that he had, but because of the way that he would respect the family, the honor, the legacy, the heritage, and etc. So I would say, I mean, if you look at all of my tattoos and stuff, it's all about that. I'm super proud of my family and my background, and also on my mom's side. So I think, and on my mom's side, my granddad was he was an executive most of his life, like working at big companies, big corporations. So I think it was a good mix, and
Yeah, both sides.
I could understand a bit of both worlds, and I always felt like, okay, I want to build something. I want to do something cool. I didn't thought much about, when you're a kid, you don't think much about like money. Oh, I want to make like a lot of money, but you think about what is cool and what is not cool, and stuff that you want to have and stuff that you want to do. So I always loved cars. I always loved watches. I wanted to have that stuff. And in order for you to have that stuff in a very simple way when you're a kid, you have to figure on how to accomplish stuff and get to that point. So yeah, I would say like my childhood was, I was always like thinking about and dreaming about this kind of stuff. And also I was very very connected to the American culture, I can say. So my biggest idols when I was 6, 7 years old, they're not like Brazilian whatever actors, or it was Hulk Hogan. He was my, like I would literally dress like Hulk Hogan when I was like 6.
That's amazing.
Stallone, Schwarzenegger, which is Austrian also, and there is a bit of a story with Schwarzenegger and Oakberry that I can tell later. But yeah, so I was not a good student, but I was always super sure on what I wanted to my life. Of course, you cannot be sure if you're gonna reach the level that you aspire.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what I wanted and how I saw myself in the future.
It's interesting because you mentioned you like the cars, you like the watches. Essentially, you were just looking, saying like, I want these really fucking nice things. And I find that there tends to be like a negative connotation when people talk about that. Like, oh, you shouldn't want to build something, or you shouldn't want to grow a business just to buy these nice things. I'm the complete same way as you. Like, I like nice shit. I don't shy away from it. And I never saw that to be a negative. But why do you think people think that? Like, why do you think people look and say, oh, he only wants to make money because he wants to buy the nice house or the nice cars or the nice watches?
Dude, I think that people usually, whenever they say that, first they're full of bullshit, because I mean it's super obvious that everybody likes good stuff.
Yes.
I mean that's basics, and that's it doesn't has to do with what your beliefs or your religion or whatever. Everybody likes comfort, and that's the human nature. Everybody likes good stuff. Doesn't matter if good stuff for you means a watch, because like I like watches because I got a watch when I was born, and then I grew up like looking at the watch, waiting for the day that I would be able to wear that watch that my granddad gave to me when I was born. Cars, because I don't know, I always loved cars. I always loved racing. My dream was to be a racing driver, and then when I was like 9 years old, I went to the first Formula One race, and then my dream was to own a Formula One team. And so that stuff, like some people can relate to that. Maybe your thing is something else. Maybe you like tables, There's people that are crazy about tables. They want to import a freaking table from Italy, and it's going to be more expensive than most of my watches. But yeah, I think that usually you're either too like lazy to go after that, or you're just not confident enough to admit to yourself that, okay, you're not that cool, dude. Like, it's okay to like watches and cars. You don't have to pretend that you're a superior human being, and you're. And of course, like, that's not what matters. That's stuff that you like, but that's not what matters at the end of the day. What matters is, I can have all of the watches and the cars in the world. If I'm not 100% sure that my dad now and my mom, that they're happy in their houses, that they're healthy, I wouldn't even think about, this superfluous stuff that also gives me joy. But that's all like, I'm not super attached to it. I love it, but I flip my watches all the time.
Yeah.
When COVID started, I literally sold all of my watches because I wasn't sure on what was going to happen. So I sold my cars and I sold my watches just to have some like liquidity, because I wasn't sure if all of my stores are going to shut down and I have to pay my employees, and like, so that's I would say that's what matters at the end. Like, I wanted to make sure that my family would be okay, that I wouldn't fire anyone, So I'd rather like cut on my superfluous,
Lifestyle.
is
Yeah,
that a
yeah.
word? Superfluous? It is,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, basically, I think people should be. I think you cannot be happy if you're lying to yourself, trying to convince yourself
Yeah.
that you don't like stuff
Mhm.
in order to make other people believe that that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? What's the point of doing whatever you're doing if you like? And usually, people that say that whenever they hit the fucking jackpot, they're gonna be
They
the
go
most
crazy.
annoying ones,
Yes.
and they're gonna talk about that the whole time,
Yeah.
not because they love it, but then as they were before, just thinking about what other people think,
Yeah.
then they're gonna do the same, and they want to buy stuff that to show off, and
I find that it's a part of their brand in the moment. Like when it makes sense for their brand to be like, yeah, I don't care for that stuff. It's all good. And then they make some money and then you see a little bit of a switch up. I mean, everyone does, and rightfully so. If you make money and you work hard, like I think why not, reward yourself? And you're correct. Everyone rewards himself in different ways. It could be a nice table, the new phone, a watch, whatever the case may be. But the reason I always want to know about the childhood and just kind of your way of thinking is because I'm always curious, and everyone has a different answer. Like, is being a great entrepreneur something you're born with, or is it something that you build, right? And I'm curious for you. Obviously, it seems like you had the family structure of both sides, the entrepreneurship, the sort of more corporate side. You had both sides, so you could have easily, in my opinion, gone either way, right? You had two sort of people to look at in terms of like which direction do I go, but do you think that
Aryna's dancing on
it's
the
okay, it's good
back,
for the
so,
shot.
yeah.
Do you think that it's born in you, or was it something that kind of came to you, like let's say later on in your teens or 20s?
This is gonna go viral because she's like doing TikTok shit on the back. So I hope you guys got that one. So I think that I'm the only entrepreneur in my family, and I have my brother and I have cousins. So basically, I think that that's. I don't think you're born with it. I think you're shaped into it,
Okay.
and it could be either because you have this this opportunity of seeing stuff happening, but it could be the other way around, like from literally not having this experience, and then you say, okay, like that's not enough for me, and then you want to build something like different because you simply don't enjoy like what your family was doing, and not in an emotional way, but just on a practical way. Like, I want to do something else. I want to do something different. So in my case, I can say that like through the ups and downs, because like I mentioned, my granddad was super successful. Yeah, he was up to a certain point. Then he lost everything. Then he worked his way out again, up again, and gave the family a super good like living. Everybody went to good schools. Everybody had like food and etc. Everybody could travel, and by everybody I mean my parents. I mean my cousins, myself, my brother. But it was always ups and downs. So one day we were okay, everything is fine. The following day, fuck, like we
Really?
yeah,
It was that the difference was like that.
like that.
Wow.
So that was something that I didn't want it to go through. So I knew that I had to make sure that whatever I was going to do, I love the pressure, and I love to like not being sure on what what's going to happen on the following day, and I like that feeling of, okay, you have to work your ass off, or like don't take stuff for granted. But at the same time, I wanted to make sure that it would be more steady, and I would be able to build something in a way that on the long term I wouldn't have that big like difference gap, like ups and downs on this. So it's I don't think I was born with it, but I think I was shaped into it from very very early
Yeah, the
age.
different experiences. Yeah, it's funny. I think like I don't know if it's maybe a European thing. Like even with my family, like it's always like money is like hush hush. You don't talk about money too much. You kind of keep it low key. And I guess for myself, growing up as a kid, I never knew, is like, do we like, are we okay or are we not? And so I think that was what pushed it for me. So I agree. I think you got to be a certain type of person. You got to be able to your risk tolerance needs to be extremely fucking high, especially when you're trying to get to the heights that you've reached. And I think that for me is the number one key factor that separates like this person can do it or they can't. Like how much risk can they take? Because with risk comes pressure.
Yeah.
Right. But speaking of pressure and whatnot, obviously I want to get into Oakberry. But before, I'm very curious. I don't think I've ever heard you say, did you try to build any other businesses prior to Oakberry?
Of course I did. Yeah. So when I was done with university, so I went to law school in Brazil. 2013, I finished law school. I moved to Miami. I got some, and that's the risk factor that we were talking about. So I asked people for money, literally, like family and friends, because I was super bullish on the real estate market here in Florida.
But you were right, by the way.
I was right, but I didn't align fully with being Brazilian and had all of like the issues that we have in Brazil with politics and the economy is not the easiest thing to understand. So basically, I got some money landed from family and friends, moved to Miami, bought an apartment to flip, and bought a piece of land with a friend of mine in Wynwood. And 13 years ago, like Wynwood was
garbage.
Yeah. I mean, it was just starting. But yeah. That's 2014. Then we have an election in Brazil. Wrong person got elected.
Yeah.
The US dollar was 2-1. In a week, it was 4-1.
Wow.
Against the US dollar. So yeah, FX basically like screwed me. And I said, okay, at least I can now like sell whatever I bought here and make some money on the FX. That's what I did. Paid people, got some money, and then I moved to California.
Okay.
But that's important. While I was still in university, I opened a bar in Brazil with a friend from school, and it was actually like good. It was super successful for me as a boy
student,
going to college to have the bar. Like it was like paying my bills. I was living with my dad, so I didn't need much. I just wanted to save money to be able to go to Ibiza once a year, and that was enough, and get a cool car every once and then, and that was it. So it was. I cannot say like I had like a lot of failures. Yeah, I wanted to do real estate in Miami, didn't work, but ended up like you have to be a bit lucky too to be successful and optimistic, because if you like just see something bad and oh fuck, like this is all I wanted to do was to like build this townhouses in Wynwood, and now I'm not gonna be able I'm such a big failure, like whatever, dude, like you try to squeeze the lemon over there and like and move on. So I moved to California, and when I moved to California, literally without an agenda, like I just wanted to see what was going on, because back then, like LA was the I would say the crib for whatever cool was being created in America.
Yeah, it was the mecca. If you were cool, you were there.
Yeah, and all of the new companies in fashion and F&B, like the organic market, etc. But I flew to LA without an agenda. Like I wasn't like an açaí expert or whatever. But I saw while I was there that stuff was happening nonstop, and people were starting to look at açaí bowls in California. And it's okay, if people are doing this here, it's gonna happen everywhere else in in a couple of years. So, but yeah, I tried a bunch of stuff. I was for like a couple of years in Brazil working as a realtor also.
Okay.
So yeah, I did a bunch of stuff. I would say nothing was a nightmare,
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay. Not too many crazy failures.
No sad stories to tell on that.
Okay.
And even on Oakberry, when we're gonna talk about that, like there's a lot of challenges and etc. But I cannot say like
hey, man.
I suffered like crazy, and I don't want to just create, or maybe just I'm again super optimistic, so I take this stuff on like with a different approach.
Yeah. Anything bad, you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. Okay, well then let's move into that. I mean, obviously there's like the famous story that you know, I've heard you talk about a few times. You were diagnosed with cancer, and then that was pretty much at a similar time as the birth of Oakberry.
Yeah.
So before we go into that transition, I mean, dude, like the C word is like the scariest word. I think as soon as you know what cancer is as a kid or a young teen, it becomes like the world's biggest fear. Like even if you never end up getting it in your life, it's always like a fear. You always hear if someone has cancer, like, oh my God, like it's the fucking worst thing. So you get diagnosed with it. Walk me through like, you know, how that came to be, how the diagnosis came. Were you feeling something before? Like walk me through that. And then I want to know really inside your mind, like what went on when you got that news? Like, how did that change? A, how did you feel in the moment? And then B, how that changed and kind of morphed you into who you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say everyone would feel the same when you got this kind of news. There's no like other way to react to that. It's definitely something that you don't expect when you're like 25, 26 years old. And it doesn't really matter like why you don't even think about why me or why would I get that. Like your reaction is, it becomes like instantly. I think you have two ways to follow, two paths to choose. You either are super optimistic and you say like, fuck this shit, I'm not under control, like I'll make sure that like whatever happens, I'm gonna be a believer on this. Or you can just go deep into like depression and etc. And I would understand if that happened. But it was like super driven, and I have a lot of faith. I'm a Christian. I was raised that way. I pray a lot. I always did. So that also like helps a lot, because like you just feel that you have something much bigger than you helping you, you know, like towards the right way of thinking, reacting, and etc. But when I got the news, I already had like it was the size of a golf ball right over here.
Wow.
And it was already there for like 3-4 years. So it was, you know, just going to the doctor every 6 months and testing. And theoretically, it was just like a nodule on my like thyroid.
Okay.
And like I was doing just this routine exams, and then they had to puncture it. And once you puncture, then you do the biopsy and stuff. And then like, because I did it like 3-4 times before, I was just expecting like, okay, same result.
Yes.
Then I got the result, and then says like, okay, you have like level 6 thyroid cancer, this and that, fucking nasty. I said, fuck it, okay. So and like I lost my granddad to cancer, my grandma to cancer.
Okay.
So my mom had thyroid cancer, had to go through a bunch of like nasty therapeutical treatments after that.
And stuff,
So I said, fuck, like this is, I didn't need this, because first I was fully broke. Like I had...
Worst time for it to happen, eh?
Fully broke. That was like July, August 2016.
Yeah.
Oakberry was already all set up in my head, and I was like ready to start. Plus I was getting married in October of that year. So I figured out in like early August, my wedding was... October 1st, and I had to open Oakberry, and I had zero cash. Like I had like 5K on my bank account. Wow. That was it. And the 5K I used to pay for the bar of the wedding.
The wedding.
So,
So it's gone.
I had nothing. But of course I had family, you know. So I knew that okay, they'll help me out and whatever. But I would say that from the first moment, like of course when you see the news first, you get super scared, but I was sure I wasn't going to like to die or to suffer, or you know, it was, I don't know. I think there's no reason why you're gonna like transform something that it's already a problem in something that it's a bigger problem
Yes.
or a bigger issue. And if you go towards that direction, I think like it's a loophole that you're not going to be able
You can't get out of.
to get out of.
Yeah.
So I just chose optimism. Didn't make any sense to be optimistic because of all of the factors, but I said like, okay, I trust my life and my destiny and my path, and I want to do cool stuff and I want to do good stuff for people. And I mean, with God helping me, that's
Yeah.
you know, who else is gonna say it's too tough or it's not gonna happen? So
Yeah, but you're fucking crazy. I gotta tell you for that, because that's not like you're just saying, oh, I chose optimism. Like, okay, in hindsight, yeah, that sounds so easy, but like, fuck, I know, like, I have a good friend's dad who just got diagnosed, and I went to go see him recently, and like he didn't choose optimism, and like you said, it's like I don't blame him, because I can't imagine it being
Yeah.
easy to do that. But I want to attach it back, because over the last like 18 months, I've become a lot closer with God. I also was raised Christian. There was a period of my life that, not that I didn't believe in it, but I just didn't practice as much. And over the last 18 months, I really got back to it. And if I had to guess, I think that that's a very big reason that you probably were able to choose optimism. Now, the recovery and all that, I'm sure there's other aspects to it, and factors that led to that. But I think, yeah, the belief in God is something that I wish and pray more people would turn back to in today's day. And I think there is kind of a shift moving back to it, but people undermine how powerful it
yeah.
can be. So I definitely, just listening to you talk, I feel like that's a really big point that I think a lot of people might skip over or not realize. But speaking for myself, last 18 months, it's been incredible, and I can't tell you how amazing my life's been in the last 18 months. So I'm like, do I equate it to that? I don't know, right? It's one of those things where you have to just kind of say, is it this? Is it not? And I just choose to believe that that's the reason. So I'm sure you probably did the same.
Yeah, no, I had like so many different like signals during my life on what God can do like to you, and it doesn't really matter like your religion, what your like theoretical beliefs are, but that there is just like bigger power. There's something there. Either you call it the universe, or you call it energy, or you call it God, or you call it Allah, or like you choose whatever you want to.
Sure.
But like I'm super bullish on on that idea, and I've always been. Plus, I think that like faith is a thing that only has upside. There's no downside on faith. So like, plus I think that life is, I don't know how it is, but should be super boring without faith. Like, oh no, I want to do it myself, and yeah, there's no, that it's all bullshit that you have like energy and it's gonna help you, or God, or this or that. Like, dude, what's cool about doing stuff like alone?
Yeah.
Like you
true.
love doing stuff with people overall. Like you love the connections, and you love like to do stuff with your family, and to see, or at least you should love to see other people's accomplishments and stuff, and to see people cheering for you when you accomplish something. Why wouldn't you have this big like friend that can do whatever with you the whole time, just a prayer away or a talk away, like
Yeah.
you're basically choosing not to have this the biggest bodyguard in the world
Of all time.
with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So like I always chose to have faith, and I think should be super boring not to believe. Like, okay, you're dreaming about stuff, but you're dreaming about stuff and you don't have the faith that that's actually going to happen. Not just in a like, not just business wise, but on raising a family, on connecting to people, on like doing cool stuff, on like whatever hits your heart. So yeah, that definitely helped me. Faith helped me a lot, and I think it was through faith for sure that that I was able to be optimistic in a moment like that. Because yeah, thinking straight wouldn't make that much sense.
Of course.
So you just have to make it make sense.
Yeah.
And I know it's not easy, but I mean, yeah,
But when it
it
feels
happened.
life or death, I mean, at some point you got to push the boundaries and make it make sense. No, I love that. That's pretty cool. I like what you said there. You said um, about faith. You said not having faith. Like what's the like? There's no
What's the
downside to
what's the upside of
y-
not having faith on
like
something?
I don't I
Like,
don't yeah. That's fucking. It's incredible. I gotta start saying that to more people. No, I love that. Well, let's segue that now. Obviously, so you get the diagnosis, you beat it, thank God, and you get an insurance payout,
yeah.
and you use that money. Walk us through that story, the launch of it, and how that all comes to be.
So again, like yeah, Oakberry was already all set up.
Okay.
So
When you say all set up, what do you mean by that?
the whole idea was already there. I had my suppliers already set up. I had like everything was because when I was living in LA, I wanted to start Oakberry in the US, but I didn't have like a credit score. I didn't have any history with banks. I didn't have any money, so nobody would like rent me a good spot in back in the day, like Santa Monica, where I wanted to start a business. And then I chose to start a business in Brazil, and that's like mid 2016.
Yeah.
So a very very close friend of mine already joined me on the idea. Friend from school, Renato, and yeah, we were like, okay, we're gonna open Oakberry here, but basically like we needed the money to open up the first shop, and after I told you like after the cancer and etc. like, and I was completely broke, so I was like just calling everything that my like bank had sold to me the past like 2-3 years because they charge you like $10 for this, 15 for that, and that insurance was in US dollars like $15 a month. In Brazilian money, 64 of our money in Brazil.
Okay.
And I called to cancel it, and the lady that takes on the phone, she was like, "Oh no, but this insurance is very good because it's not just life insurance. It covers hard diseases also." I said, "Like which?" So like cancer, HIV, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay." I was diagnosed with cancer like a month ago. She said, "Okay, so you have the right to get 75% of the premium of the insurance." I said, "Okay, what should I do?" She said, "Just email your diagnosis and stuff to like this email,
Yeah.
and wait for the answer." So I did that. In a couple weeks, they wired me what was like in the day, like 50K
Okay.
or something.
Okay.
And then with that money plus what Renato had, plus with what Fabiano had, was another friend, early investor. We basically made a way to open our first shop in December. So basically, cancer in August, wedding in October. I got the surgery for the cancer in October 16. Then I got the insurance payout in like mid-November, and I opened the first shop in December 6th.
Holy shit.
From I would say like from the moment, so then like you're on that like loophole, bunch of shit happening.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, another one, and then you start to see like the uprise again, you know.
Yes.
And then I do the surgery, and then you have to wait after the surgery to see like, okay,
Is it gone? Did it spread?
Yeah, did it spread or not? Then I got the result after like a week or so. Like, okay, you don't have to do like chemo. We don't have to do this. Like everything was like encapsulated on that. Like I took the whole thyroid gland with the freaking golf ball that was there, but it was like all there. So that was the first like good news. Then the insurance that you're like, oh, I'm calling to cancel like $15 a month insurance. I'm super fucked. Then like out of that, and thanks God for that marketing lady that
got you on the phone.
Got the phone call on that day, because if she was like just bored, she would say, okay, I'm canceling.
Yeah.
But she told me like, okay, yeah, you have the insurance.
Yeah.
And then there was the second one. And then you just start to feel like, okay, there's something bigger happening here. And there's a bunch of other stories like throughout that stage that are just super crazy. Like when and this is a cool one. When like I chose the name Oakberry
Okay.
because first I wanted to be a name that doesn't mean anything because it's super hard to get to have the IP of a brand in
Yes.
like all of the markets and okay, I was starting a small 60 square foot açaí kiosk in São Paulo, but I wanted to go global. That was my
Yeah.
you know. So I wanted to be a name that I could have an IP
Anywhere.
on that name anywhere. So Oakberry doesn't mean anything because basically oak trees doesn't give any berries. So and then oak has a super like biblical meaning.
Yes.
Plus the nickname of Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Austrian Oak, and I was super into
Okay.
like
Okay.
Schwarzenegger. I'm still like he's one of my biggest idols, and I admire his whole like career, and then I said okay Oakberry, and I told Renato like okay it's gonna be Oakberry, and he was like yeah I'm not 100% sure. I said dude it's gonna be Oakberry like, but I'm not a dictator, so if you come up with something cool and you convince me until like tomorrow because we were like almost ready to open the shop and I had to like register the name.
Yeah.
I'm happy to switch, but you have until tomorrow. Then he went to bed. He's also super Christian, super religious. He wakes up, calls me crying in the morning. I said, what's up? Like, what's wrong? He said, dude, I woke up, like I went to bed thinking about like another possible name for the company. I woke up and he would wake up and open the Bible on like a random page every day. Then he opened and he sees, he opens on Isaiah 6:13.
Okay.
Isaiah 6:13 says, it starts by saying that the people of God, it's like the oak
Wow.
that you can burn to the ground and it's going to grow again. And it's going to grow stronger.
Wow.
So the guy was like shaking and calling me and he said, it's Oakberry
It's meant
all
to
the
be,
way.
yeah.
Like, okay, we're not even talking about that anymore, you know? So, and then we had Isaiah 6:13 in all of our shops
Yes.
somewhere since then. So yeah,
Wow.
I don't even know why I started to tell the story, but oh yeah, a bunch of, I would say, weird, good stuff happening
Yes.
on that stage.
See, like, how can you not have faith when you hear this stuff?
Exactly.
How can you not have faith? I
Exactly.
guess because people don't connect it to their own life. But anyways,
What are the odds? What are the
Of
chances?
course.
It's
Well, of
impossible for
course.
that to happen.
Of
You know,
course.
like it's
Of
impossible.
course.
Either someone did it, someone,
Yeah.
or you know, like, or yeah, I should be winning on the Powerball every week or every other week at least.
Yeah. No, I think someone did it. I think somebody did it.
I'm 100% positive.
Okay, so walk me through. You opened that first store. Obviously, how does it go off the jump? Because you're opening up an acai shop in a place that is full of acai shops. Obviously, you've differentiated from the brand, but I mean, there has to be a big marketing play to really get people through the doors. So how long do you run the first shop until you start expanding? And just walk me through kind of what that first period of Oakberry looks like with one store.
So I think that because I was drawing the business from scratch, thinking about the American market, where the standards for F&B are much higher, we had a super standardized operation since the first day. So it was simple, it was standardized. We figured out how to use a machine to serve the acai, which is basically a margarita machine. It's not an acai machine.
Yes.
We had to figure how to like calibrate the machine to use like fruit pulp.
Yep.
And then you would have the same exact texture and density on all of the bowls. And then even in Brazil with in the first shopping mall that I opened, there was probably another like 10, 15 locations of random brands selling acai.
Okay.
Because acai is super, super common in Brazil for the past like 30 years.
Yeah.
Everybody sells acai. Every bakery shop, every juice spot, like whatever, restaurant, everybody has acai. So I think that by bringing to the Brazilian customer an experience that was higher than what they were used to and what they were expecting,
Okay.
they simply moved towards Oakberry because it was simpler, because the brand was cool.
Yeah.
And because we were just doing it in a way that felt more natural and easy for them from how they're going to choose their toppings, from how they're gonna. It's not a bowl. It's like we say açaí bowls, but we serve it on a
A
cup.
cup, yeah.
And then basically when you serve it on a cup, you see all of the layers. And plus, if you're walking back home from the school or from your job, or if you're driving, you put on the cup holder, or like
Yes.
it's not a bowl that you have to, like you're gonna drop all in your like
Yes.
white shirt before going back to the bank.
And visually, like someone's walking home with that, and you're looking, you're like seeing the layers.
Super like Instagrammable and stuff.
Yes,
And
yes.
we had no budget for marketing, of course. So we wanted to make sure that the product and the brand was like they had to be like cool enough
Yes.
for people to talk about it, for people to post about it, and it worked. So that was I would say why we were getting good feedback and being successful from day one. And
Well, I think it's interesting too because, like you mentioned, acai was normalized there already. Like you said, whether it's a restaurant,
it was
bakery,
a commodity.
everyone had it. But you guys were the first ones to make a shop specialized for that product. So you found a product in the market where everyone was already selling it. So like everyone was used to it. It wasn't like you introduced something new. You had to teach somebody about a new product or bev. But you centralized it and you made it only about that. So if anyone ever thought about acai, they thought about you guys first.
Exactly. And I think that's exactly where the biggest opportunities are. So first, I mean, I know that I'm not a Elon or a Zuckerberg or like I'm not gonna invent something crazy. So I had to work up to my limitations.
Yes.
And what I know I'm good at is I'm a very good observer. I know what's cool and what's not cool. To a branding aspect, fashion. So and I think that helps a lot. And because of that, basically like, okay, there's this product that everybody knows, and there is no brand that owned this product. There was, there's not the Häagen-Dazs of acai, or the Gillette, or the whatever. There's no owner for this like massive category that is growing a lot. So I want people to say, I want to have an Oakberry.
Yeah.
Like you want to go to McDonald's, and not just like, oh, I want to have an acai, and then you think about where you're going to get an acai. I wanted to Starbucks size the acai experience,
which you fucking did, because I don't think, and again, I go all the time. I don't think I ever say like, hey, you want to go get an acai bowl? I always say, let's go. I just say, let's go to Oakberry. Like that's always what my go-to is. So
I love that.
You fucking nailed it. Clearly.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so then let's talk about how quickly does the store start doing well, and then you say, okay, it's time for expansion.
I think we hit like a very good spot in the market. So from day one, the store was already like performing in a level that said, okay, we have a business. You know, of course, like my first idea of what the company could be was like, okay, maybe like in 5 years, we can have like 100 locations. But like the demand was just much bigger. Yeah. And plus, like, because we didn't have the money, and because we were like thinking about the American market, where like labor is super expensive, plus the rent is crazy. When we do it in Brazil, we end up having an operation that is super simple, that I can operate with 1 to 2 employees. Yeah. That I'm basically renting a spot that is like 6 square meters. What else can you operate in 6 square meters?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. So basically, like, we were getting spots that nobody wanted because nobody could use that.
For so cheap.
Yeah. So then my P&L was looking good. And then you start to get demand of people like, okay, there's people lining up to have their acai. Of course, the product was amazing, the brand was nice, and etc. And then we start to get demand for franchises. And the business was created to be a franchise business.
So you had that in mind from the get-go?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's basically because I thought, okay, this is such a cool idea and such a big opportunity. I don't want it to wait to get payback on all of the stores to be able to open another one. And then you got someone massive seeing what you're doing. And then as long as I'm super bullish on my brand, then you start to have a lot of competition. Yeah. And even though like I'm better than them, then you don't have the spots available anymore. So I wanted to move fast. or as fast as possible. So we start to get demand for franchises. We waited 6 months, then we sold the first franchise. So second store opened was also another of like a corporate store. In March of the same year. I mean, of the following year.
Next year.
And then first franchised opened in June of that year.
Okay.
So June 17, we had 3 locations. December 17, we have 19 locations.
Holy shit.
18, we had almost 100 locations.
That is insane.
January 19, I started international expansion. Then I opened 1 store in Sydney, 1 in Lisbon, 1 in Barcelona, 1 in Dubai, 1 in Wynwood. And from that, we started to get so much demand on different markets. And we were never the guys that went to like franchise fairs and expos and stuff to sell franchises. It was all organic.
Organic, wow.
So even if you look at our growth in Brazil, like we did São Paulo, and then São Paulo started to grow like on a, around the first store, because people see, okay, this is going well and it's organic. It's people like, it's customers that want to become franchisees. And that's the best, because you don't have to explain. You have to sell the product to them. They know it. They're already hooked. They love it, you know? So we basically dominated São Paulo. Then we did the same in Rio. And then we started to do the same in all of these other markets. And from 2019, international expansion like took off. And I would say last 3 years took off like heavily. Now like 85% of my sales are outside of Brazil. Wow. So yeah, and we have, we didn't even announce yet, but we're at over 1,000 locations, 1,014 locations operating. I
read online, it showed me a little bit less than that.
Yeah. We didn't announce yet officially, so I'm announcing it right now.
Okay.
We're gonna do something cool about it,
of course.
But yeah, I mean, it's a huge milestone. And
man, that growth is unbelievable. I mean, listen, for you to already have in your mind that you wanted 100 stores within 3 years is already psychotic. Again, I keep going back to it. I think you're actually fucking crazy. Yeah. In a good way.
My partners thought so also.
Yeah,
like,
I think you're
like,
psychotic.
Dude, if we got 30 locations of this and they're all leaving us like 20K a month.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, dude, we're not good. That's not. Gotta pump those
dreams.
numbers up. It's a different play.
But what I want to understand is the scaling aspect, and because that scaling is so quick. Because I'm a big believer of when you don't know something in a business and it's not your forte. Like I'm a big believer of either bring them in as a partner in some way, or pay, just pay. Like, you're not going to know fucking everything. I feel like everyone is, and this goes for small businesses, but then as you reach global and international expansion, like I can only imagine the levels that it gets to there, where like, how the hell are you supposed to know every fucking thing to actually make that business successful when you're expanding that quickly? So did you start to look outside to bring people in as the expansion happened? And like, what did that look like? Was there anybody specific you had in mind, or were there specific roles that you said, hey guys, like, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about when it comes to this. Let's bring somebody in here. Like, what was that like?
First, yeah, 100%. I think that you have to be humble enough to understand that you don't know everything, even though like, okay, it's my company. I draw it from scratch. I build it from scratch. But still, I have no idea how to operate a fucking Excel shit. And I don't want to learn that. So you're going to have to bring someone that is better than you on that. So from the super early days, like the 4th guy that I brought in, also a friend of mine since I'm 13, 14, his family owns the biggest franchise consultancy company in Brazil. So, and he was working in the family business. Yeah. And then I said, okay, like, I'm not gonna even like give you like work. I'm not gonna, be a pain in the ass of your dad and ask for stuff. I just want to be able to say that you're part of this. Yeah. And I know that anything wrong that you're gonna see, like you're gonna tell me, and that's already enough. Yeah. And it worked, because everybody that was like looking for a franchise in Brazil, if you Google franchise in Brazil, you're going to see his last name,
company,
on the first link on Google. So that helped a lot. and in the beginning, gave us that trust from the people. And I would say that kept happening towards the growth of the company. So, like, again, I have zero idea on like how to operate like Excel and to make sure like I understand the numbers in a practical way.
Yes.
But like budgeting a company, and then you start to have like revenues coming from so many different countries, and then there's the currency and differences and tax and this and that. So yeah, I have to bring someone that is much better than me.
Yes.
I brought our former CFO. There's now CFO and co-CEO of the company, Gustavo, because he would be much better than me on that,
Of course.
And we did the same in so many other different roles. And I have no problem in saying that, like, I'm definitely not the best in most of the stuff that I need now at Oakberry. What I'm super good at is still the same from when I started. Being a good observer, meeting people, connecting to people, and knowing what's cool and what's not cool. Still going to decide what's cool and what's not cool.
Yeah.
If my team is going to bring me an idea, we're going to launch this product, I'm going to say, this is shit. We're not going to launch this.
Yeah.
But you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this because this is cool as fuck.
Yes.
And then they're like, and then I do it, and then usually it works.
It hits, yeah.
So, like, and again, it's not a dictatorship, but it's far from being a democracy also. Like, you have to have someone like, saying, okay, let's move towards this direction.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that the team is one of the most important things. And one thing that I've learned throughout it's been 10 years now, almost 10 years, is that sometimes you can bring people with a lot of experience, much more experience than you, from the same industry, but we're still, because of the way we manage the company, the way we believe in like branding, the way we do marketing, the way we want to come up with like new stuff, different products, relate to people, choose the right influencers or the sports that we're going to relate the company to. Sometimes you have someone from the industry that doesn't have that culture, and that becomes a problem because we have 1,000 locations, but I still see us as a startup. Like, we have startup numbers. We grew 41% in revenues from 24 to 25. We're going to do 42% this year, opening up like 300 locations a year. That's 30% like growth in locations a year, 40% in revenues. And that number is growing.
Yes.
That even though like it's when you have 10 locations and you open 3 and it's 30%, okay, that's super cool. It's cute. When you have 1,000 and you open 300, that's sick.
It's not just cute anymore.
It's not okay, congrats, but it's super cool. So basically, I still have this like startup feeling.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, we're like we're getting bigger, you know. So we have like teams all over the world. We have our team in Madrid. We have our team here in Miami. We have our team in Brazil. We have our team in the factory in the Amazon, plus other like smaller offices in Australia, in the Middle East and stuff. It's all connected, and I love this drive that our team has to have to make sure that Oakberry is still growing with that same like startup feeling.
Yeah, that same rate, that same intensity.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I think like it's gonna get to a point where I'm gonna get bored.
Yeah.
Not close.
Yeah.
To get to this point, but I'm gonna get bored because I know that there's no way out. We're gonna become too corporate.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna have to.
At some point.
And then your play is like, okay, it's 1% on the P&L, and that is not 40%, and and meeting people and finding the right master franchisee for a new massive market like China and selling the idea, or okay, we're gonna do something crazy with Formula One, or we're gonna come up with a new product. Then you become like whatever, like Starbucks, like McDonald's, and etc.
Which is fine. At some point, you're gonna get there when you get to that point.
Yeah. No, hopefully, and I have no strings attached on that. I love Oakberry. It's my baby. It's my business. It's what gave me everything that I have. Mm-hmm. Not just to me, but to like so many people, and that makes me super grateful. And not just talking about my family, but all of our employees, franchisees, their families. Like when you look at it, you say, okay, we could fill up a stadium of people that has been
Impacted, yeah.
impacted in a good way through what we created. So it's something that keeps me going, and still there is a long way for us to go. But yeah, I feel like that's the point where I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna like I'm not attached to my watches, and I'm not attached to my seat, you know.
So, but I'm curious because you made a good point. You said like right now you guys are in that you say startup. I disagree, but the mentality is
mentality.
that.
Yeah,
mentality wise is that how, like, you know, being international, like you said, having an office here, Middle East, Madrid, in the team in the Amazon. You know, how do you have so many people working within the business and still making sure that they have that startup mentality? Because businesses have trouble doing it, you know, with 20 employees. Like I have a business with 25 employees, and I still find it hard sometimes. I have a good amount of them that are thinking in the startup mode, but I have some of them who I still lack being able to get them there. So how do you keep that mindset across, you know, borders essentially?
I don't, like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And if you get too attached to the idea that you're gonna make sure that everybody is on the exact same page, then you're gonna go nuts.
Yeah, go crazy. Yeah.
So what you have to do is make sure that you're doing your best on that. And it's impossible for me to connect in a super personal way to all of our employees. So what we have to do is make sure that people understand what the brand is, what Oakberry is.
Yeah.
Because basically, okay, the biggest part of our employees, they're working in our shops.
Yeah.
That's maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people. This is the ones that they're gonna give your brand to the customer, and these are the ones that we have to make sure that they're hyped about it. You know,
Yeah.
They love what they're doing. So it's making sure that the brand is cool and seen in a nice way and in a hyped way. I think that helps a lot. And on the C-suite or like an executive level, it's, I would say, harder because people come in with their previous experiences,
an ego, maybe a
previous
little bit.
beliefs, ego, of course.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that it's impossible, but you have to be closer. But then it's less people, key people, and then it's like a waterfall effect.
Yes.
If you get these people, like believing
if
in,
they bought
basically they have to believe in me.
Yes.
Like in what I see for the company. Just joining the company, coming from another like big corporation, it's already a sign that they believe what we're doing.
Of course.
So it's just to, like, you have to make sure that they are willing to keep that belief once they are on the day-to-day of the business, and they understand, okay, this looks a bit crazy. This guy's a bit, maybe he's too much, too bullish, too optimistic, and this and that. I mean, it's been working, and
what's got you here.
I'm not planning on changing anytime soon.
Okay, let me ask you. Well, actually, before I ask you this, I want to just make a point too. You mentioned that you're kind of like the taste maker, maybe the idea guy. I find that guy doesn't get as much respect when you start reaching these like global levels. It's more like the guy putting the P&Ls together, the guy who's going to do all the more corporate stuff. But I don't think a business can ever get to that level without the right, so I'll say taste maker in the driver's seat. Because like you mentioned, people are buying into your brand because, like, both ways, customers and employees are buying into your brand because it's cool. Ultimately, it's cool. Obviously, it's an amazing product, but I've seen businesses with a shitty product, but that are cool and they'll still go that far. Yeah. So I want people to understand the importance of a good tastemaker at the head, at the driver's seat. Because again, with a good tastemaker, which would equate to a good brand, that probably does a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of A, sales, and then B, getting people to buy in. Because your employers are like, fuck, I work for Oakberry. Like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just that alone, that's like, like, it's, you're not going to believe this maybe, but I think that's like comparable to saying, like, I work for Apple. Like, like, you guys are really there. You're a real big global brand, So I think that probably does a lot of the heavy lifting for you when it comes to people buying in. Yeah,
no, for sure. And then I would say the hard part is to keep up with the hype after they join the company.
Yes.
Because it is already like there is the startup intensity, but it
Yeah.
is already a big corporation. So there's a bunch of rules and stuff. And when they're looking from the outside,
They don't see
okay,
that.
coolest place on earth. When you're inside, like, okay, then it's the hard work for me to make sure that it's cool, and they understand that there is all of the standards that we have to keep up with, all of the rules and etc. Because okay, like we're a company, we have investors, we have to be profitable, we have to grow, we have to have the right people. There is the boring part of it.
Of course.
I leave the boring part to
The boring
Gustavo,
guys.
to the
Yeah.
to the CFO, to the to the finance guys,
Mm-hmm.
and you, like, again, like on ego that you just tapped, like you cannot have the ego that, oh, what if people gonna respect more someone that knows like deeply how to number crunch? I don't give a fuck, like
Yeah.
like I'm confident on what I have to do, confident on the team I have.
Yep.
If I feel like I'm lacking a piece over here, I'm gonna try to bring the right person. If I miss, okay, we switch. Nobody
Yep.
was born like attached to each other. So it's I think it's like it's the company is like it's a super like movable, symbiotical kind of like operation.
Yes.
You have to be adapting yourself and making sure that whoever comes in understands that, okay, there's nothing granted. Second, you have to be able to follow the rules, but it can be super cool and
Yeah.
you can be super successful over here. And plus, we have a lot of growth to still deliver. So I have people that started cleaning the office,
Yeah.
and now it's a manager. I have people
Awesome.
that were like working on a shop in Brazil, and now it's managing 5 shops in Ireland.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
it's that feeling is cool, and I think we can deliver that to whoever joins and have that that
Yeah.
girth,
The drive,
to make stuff.
Okay,
happen.
let me ask you something. This might be a little bit on the boring side, but I think it's pretty interesting. You guys raised money at one point. I want to say 2024.
We did first raise in 2021.
Okay.
Then we did another one in 2023.
Okay. So 21 and 23. Talk to me about that experience, raising capital. I'm actually in the middle of it for a project. It's very interesting. Obviously, you guys were already at scale when you did it, so I could imagine there's probably some VCs that were fighting each other for the spot. But was there a different type of pressure taking money from a VC? Did that sort of change the way you guys looked at the decisions? Did that change the way you guys took risks? I can imagine, obviously, once you have a big influx of money, someone else's money, obviously you don't feel the same way. It's not as easy maybe to take risks, is what I imagine. So I'm just curious how that was for you guys.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, I'd say in our case, so we didn't give control of the company. Our investors, they're minority shareholders of the company. Of course, they have some governance on the company, and we want people that want to. They want to help. You know. So basically, when we brought in our last round, our investors, our idea was like, okay, let's have people with a completely different experience sitting in the board with us, helping us on this phase of just building like a stronger structure, a stronger base for the company, and etc. And I think that's smart. Like it's just like the natural path. Doing a raise, it's can be super fulfilling.
Yeah.
But it can be super annoying also, because like you talk to a lot of people, some people have no clue like about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Some people, like they're gonna try to find like all sorts of problems in the company, which I think it doesn't make any sense. Like, dude, why are you even sitting here if you think my company is shit? Why are you spending your time? Like, like when you're gonna buy a car and the guy's like trying to like, downgrade your, oh no, but there's this, and like, dude, then just leave.
Then
buy
leave.
something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, exactly.
So which is not the case with our investors, of course, and that's why they are our partners, our investors. But I can say that to the point that the way you spend money or take risks, it's different. Yes, it is, and it's a lot of like back and forth, like with them to make sure that I'm not crazy, even though they see what's going on,
Yeah,
but you have to, just because they think completely different.
Yes.
But at the same time, I know that they only invested their money there because they fell in love with the story, they fell in love with the company, they trust me, they trust my team. So it's just like, it's a continuous work of bringing everyone back to the point that this is why we're here together.
Yes.
And once everybody's settled again on that, then we have another 3 to 6 months of peace,
and then back again.
and then back again, which is good because
Yeah.
just keeps me sharp.
Yeah, of course. I guess it's a way for you to sort of almost have to prove your ideas, which I think after 10 years now, there's probably a lot of value in that.
Yeah.
I can imagine. At least, and it probably helps you stay humble in a way.
Yeah, no,
right?
100%. I think it's necessary, and it's even more necessary when you have like big dreams and you want to accomplish a lot of big stuff. Then you have to go through that. If we're going to do like a bigger round moving forward, if we're going to IPO, whatever, you're going to have to go through that. You have to learn that. And at the end of the day, people want to hear it from the founder. People want to hear from like whoever is there, like guiding the boat. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny boat or if it's a fucking cruise ship, So it's they want to hear from you, and I think it helps a lot to have this experience throughout the whole journey.
Let me ask you, is there a final vision before we talk about, because you have some other investments I want to talk about. Do you have a final vision for Oakberry? Is there a perfect ending to the story for you? Or is it kind of just like, let's see how this plays out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm kind of too bullish to put like a goal on it.
Okay.
And I feel like whatever goal I'm gonna put, it's gonna be limiting and not making it like, okay, that's my target.
Yeah.
If it's a target, it's a limitation at the end, So I feel like, okay, fuck, we have an average of one store opening every 2.5 days since I opened the first store 10 years ago. That's crazy,
Yes.
And that's if we take 10 years. If we go on the last 5 years, it's almost like one store every 1.5 day.
Wow.
So it's we still didn't tap like India, China, Japan, plus like the CPG. We just started with the CPG, with the ready-to-eat Oakberry pints in supermarkets. We're on Sprouts. We're doing great in Brazil, doing great in Portugal, starting now in Australia. That's another like big play that I think that we're gonna tap in, and that makes a lot of sense. On the point that I see açaí as like, my play was never to I want to take a bit of the market share of açaí, or I want to be have the biggest market share in açaí. I want to create a category out of açaí. I think that açaí has the potential to be the new Greek yogurt or coconut water, to the point that 20 years ago nobody knew what Greek yogurt was, and now it's the way that everybody has yogurt.
It's the only thing, exactly.
So why not?
Yeah.
So that's my play, that's my vision. So I think there is still a lot to be done. And plus, like, when you look at the amount of opportunities that we have worldwide on all of these markets that are basically untapped by us and by the açaí market as a whole, there's just like too much opportunity and a lot to be done. So on a size level, I don't have a target or a goal. What I think that it's something that I always wanted to make Oakberry a public company. So, and I think that exactly because of what I just said, like, we still have a lot of growth to deliver.
Yeah.
It's a super like IPO-able company because, okay, we're already structured. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have like our concept super like proved, but there is a lot to be done still.
Yes.
So why not like share that with more people and have people like joining in, and so I think that's plus, like, it's a overall for for the legacy, for my legacy. Like, you build something that is gonna be there, even if
Forever.
I'm not there, and people are gonna, people are gonna be talking about that, and etc. And then there is a much bigger environment that you're gonna be helping on like every different aspect. That just keeps me driven, and I like that idea a lot.
So there's a big legacy play when it comes down to it.
There is, I think, uh, a bit like faith. If you
Yeah.
don't want to leave like legacy, also a bit boring,
Yeah, true,
Like,
true.
if you want to,
True.
like, you can be filthy rich and you make like a lot of money out of something that it's super like boring, or okay, it's gonna be cool, but like, you get to a certain point where
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be able to be driven
Yeah,
after a certain point on that.
it's by just the
if
money.
you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't have like this legacy factor of, I want my kids and my grandkids and whatever to talk about it, like like people are still talking about Aristoteles Onassis
Yes.
now,
Yes.
So
yes.
not that the guy had the simplest or the easiest life, personally speaking, but it's like
that-
like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah.
It's a legacy. You're
I
building
was gonna
you're
say
building
that
a legacy.
your mindset though it feels very much similar to an athlete. Like I feel like athletes, obviously, you excel at a sport, you grow, you build, you want to be the best, but then when you hit a certain point, it's like becomes a legacy play. Like as an athlete, I can imagine where I played high level soccer in Canada. It wasn't much at the time, but that was always my thought process. Was like leaving a legacy for like my kids potentially if I ever went that route and things went where as I dreamed as a kid to do. But it's the legacy play. I totally agree, and I think like I can imagine that at some point money becomes obsolete. You've made so much, like not much changes. I've sat across from, multiple billionaires who all said like, hey, once I hit this number, really my life, nothing really changed. Like I could do everything I wanted, go wherever I wanted to. It became like a legacy play after that. Like, okay, can I leave something here that when I'm gone and for 100 years after that, like people still know like, hey, or even if they ever thought like who started this thing, right? Like who was behind this insane brand that just feels
Yeah.
like a household name, right? So I totally get that. But now speaking about athleticism and that whole world, you did something that I always tell Abba and my other partner Ernesto is like my dream, purchasing a soccer team. I'm a massive footy fan. And that's always been my goal. It's always been like, hey, whatever. I don't know what level I'll be able to afford. Hopefully the top one day. But you did that. You bought Le Mans. Was it what was recently? Very recently.
Yeah, it was summer last year,
Summer last year.
June last year.
Okay. I mean, you're partnered with Djokovic. You're partnered with Courtois. Like again, elite athletes. Walk me through how that even came to be. Was that because I know the F1 team was a goal for you, and you
Yeah.
and you got Oakberry there, and you did that. You sponsored. But where did the soccer team come from? Like where did the football team come from?
So I mean, I was never good at football, but
Okay.
I always loved football.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
again Brazilian born and raised.
Yeah. True. I should have
Greek,
known. Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah.
Everybody loves football.
Yes.
So yeah, football was always a big thing for me. Always something that got me super connected with my dad. Also, like of course we support the same team in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
We used to like to travel to watch the team and stuff. So football was always a big thing for me. But Le Mans actually happened completely out of the blue. Like I
Okay.
wasn't looking to buy or to join a fund to acquire a football team. But I'm a motorhead.
Yes.
I raced for a good amount of my life also. So I love cars and I love motorsports and I love this like high level motorsport environment, F1, GT racing, etc. So I was talking to a friend that has a hedge fund, private equity
Yeah.
in Brazil, and our play was to try to buy a piece of an F1 team,
Okay.
and then in the middle of this conversation, his private equity, alongside with another private equity that invests solely in sports in Brazil, they were looking at football teams in Europe. So they're looking in France and Portugal, Spain.
Yeah.
And then in one of our calls, he was like, "Oh, we went to visit a club in France, Le Mans." I said, "Dude, because Le Mans is like
Racing. Yeah.
Le Mans is racing. Le
Yes.
Mans
Yes.
is the biggest like heritage in racing is the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Yes.
That's the biggest race
Yeah.
ever. Bigger than F1, bigger than whatever. When they race every year for 100 and whatever years,
Yeah.
there's 500,000-600,000 people there watching the race, and
Crazy.
it's a 24-hour race. It's not a 2-hour
Yeah.
event.
Yes.
So when he said Le Mans, I said, "Damn, like this is so cool," because just like the first image in my head was we can create a super strong connection between football and motorsports, and we can make like a global brand out of Le Mans Football Club,
Yes.
just like Le Mans as a city and as an event already is. And then we started to like dig into the story and etc. And I mean, I bought in the first second of the conversation because it was such like a cool
Yeah.
idea. Then of course I flew there, and when I saw the infrastructure of the club, so because Le Mans was the first division club in France.
Yeah. For a long time, they had a lot of history.
Yeah, so many good players came from Le Mans. Drogba,
Yeah.
Gervinho.
Yeah.
We had a good story on Ligue 1, which is the first division in France. But because of like a financial penalty and difficulties, went back to 6th division, which is basically amateur
Yes.
football in France. And then Thierry, like a local entrepreneur, he bought the team, or basically assumed the team,
Yeah, okay.
with and brought it back from 6th division to 2nd division in a 10-year window. When we negotiated and acquired the team was in 3rd division, which is the previous season, 24-25. So we basically got super lucky, I would say, because the team from 3rd to 2nd, then they literally won like 10 matches straight and qualified for 2nd division last year.
Yeah.
And then
they're about to qualify for Ligue 1 again.
For Ligue 1, yeah. So I mean, hopefully we have 6 matches still.
Yeah.
But it's looking good. The players are they're doing a great job. So I'm super proud of what we've been able to achieve until now. No pressure, but I mean, our focus was okay. Let's stay on 2nd division in the beginning of the season. Then we went on a 19-match streak without losing a match.
Incredible.
And then you have to let's move towards.
Yeah, now you're looking at a different goal.
Yeah, and that's a big goal. And because like the idea was so nice, I said, okay, guys, I'm gonna bring some friends that I think can aggregate a lot to the project. So I called Felipe Massa, which is like
F1
F1
legend. Yeah, of course.
And very, very close friend of mine. Also an investor in Oakberry for 5-6 years, 7 years already. Called Kevin Magnussen, also former F1 driver, legend, good friend of mine. And Magnussen is our master franchisee for Oakberry in the Nordics, so Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and Germany. And called Novak Djokovic, which I don't need to say like the achievements of the guy, but it's just the sharpest athlete ever to step foot on earth,
literally,
on any sports.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, like to have Novak there, and all of them, like I didn't have to sell the idea. It took me literally 5 minutes
one phone call.
And they were like, I'm in. And they came in as investors, just like me.
Awesome.
Because they loved the story and they really believed it. And then a bit after that, like 3 months ago, then we brought in Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah.
Courtois is also a nuthead on motorsports. He loves motorsports.
Really?
He has a Formula 4 and a Formula 3 team.
Okay.
And he's crazy about motorsports. Of course, he's not racing because it's too much risk.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's one of the guys that once he retires, he's going to race.
Really?
For sure.
You think so?
For sure.
He's not too tall?
He's tall, but on a GT car, you can
still fit him?
You can manage, yeah. So, and then alongside with these guys, the Outfield, which is the Brazilian fund, they already owned a team in Brazil, a big team, a top 10 team in Brazil.
Okay.
So they have all of the experience and etc. to like basically owning a club that has over 5 million fans, and
Yeah.
it's a different sizing on like the pressure and etc. So yeah, I think we have like a super good block of investors, and I'm super bullish on Le Mans. I'm in love with the whole story, and there's a lot of cool stuff that we're gonna do on this like brand level of the club. If you see what they're doing with Como in Italy,
I was just about to say, when I saw Le Mans, I thought instantly, this is exact carbon copy of what they're doing with Como. Like incredible. They turned a football team into a brand.
Exactly.
And then I mean, of course, they're actually doing the same thing. They went right to the first division, and they're actually doing amazing. They're about to qualify for Champions League football, but they did exactly that. And it makes sense because look at Como. 40 minutes north of Milan.
Yeah.
Known for its fashion, like very luxury, and then they took the team and put it in that direction, almost like people want to say like Americanized it in a way, like turned it into a real brand. And I could see the exact same thing with you guys and what you're doing there. Like it's the perfect play. The history is there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like similarities. I do think that the brand Le Mans is stronger than the brand Como.
Correct. More history.
Yeah.
More history.
And there is this super cool connection with motorsports. Our stadium is inside of the track of the Le Mans track.
Really?
We have a 25,000 people stadium inside of the most famous racetrack in the world.
Wow.
So like from one side of my VIP area, you see the main straight. From the other side, you see the center of the circuit. It's crazy.
That's insane.
So
that's crazy.
It's even if we didn't want it to have those two things super attached, we
No
have
choice.
to move out the 25,000 seat stadium from within the track. And I love what they're doing at Como. Like I love what Rigi does there.
Yeah.
He's a friend, and he's a guy that I look up to on fashion and etc. And I think there is a similar play, not just Como, but like Venezia, they did a good job. Wrexham, of course, like in England with Ryan and Rob.
Yes.
So
there's a new world where these things are starting to happen. What they did with Wrexham wasn't crazy. They took them from like 4th, 5th division, brought them up.
Yeah.
But Como was more recent. Yeah, you're right. With Venezia, it was the same thing. They teamed up with Nocta, Drake's brand. So you're seeing this rise in football, in I feel like and it's perfect for what you guys are doing. They're finding these historic brands, historic cities and areas, and then just saying, hey, like this is easily a brand here.
Yeah.
Right? Make a good football club, which again, I'm making it seem like it's so easy, but with the right team, I know that you're seeing carbon copies happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to have performance on pitch, of course. It's when Le Mans it's a fairly big city, like it's almost 300,000 people, but we have we're 50-minute train ride from the center of Paris.
Yes.
We have a super insane stadium, state of the art. We have the heritage. We have a good team. We have good technical support over there. Then now you have the right people leading the branding initiatives and stuff, which is me, by the way.
The tastemaker, see? The tastemaker.
and then you just fill in all of these gaps and say, okay, I mean, it's we have a strong story here, and we have something cool like going on.
Yeah.
And I'm super bullish on that. I mean, of course, my main gig is Oakberry.
Yes.
Le Mans is something that I take like a couple meetings every other week.
Yeah.
Because basically I'm more on the strategy part of the brand.
Mm-hmm.
The collabs that we're going to do, there will be some sick collabs that we're going to do that we're going to for sure like explode and viralize a lot.
Yeah.
I have to be humble enough to know where I can help and where I would be like doing the opposite. So live football for the guys. I'm going to be there. I'm going to cheer. I'm going to do my best. I'm good also to bring people and make them believe in my ideas. Mm-hmm. That's why Novak, Felipe, etc. They all came in and joined. But yeah, now I mean on pitch, I leave it to Coach Videira and Thierry and Pedro, the guys from outfield from Curitiba, and they, I mean, they're doing great. So
Well, of course.
yeah,
Leave that to them. You do the taste making, the marketing.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you in terms of investments, and this will be the last one in terms of that, like this topic. What do you look for when investing? Okay, like now I want to say on a lower level, are you invested in anything at a startup phase? And if so, what are the things you look for when you're saying, okay, yeah, I'm gonna bet on this on this project?
Yeah, I mean, I've been investing more and more lately on different companies, uh, and I think that it's something that started to happen more because I think that I can help more now.
No, yeah,
Like before, maybe like you would start to invest and then you cannot help, and then you can become a pain in the ass of the founder. And I hated when people were pain in the ass with me, so I don't want to be that guy.
mm-hmm.
So I think now I'm just more prepared to do that and help in a way that I'm still giving a lot of room and respect towards whatever someone is building. And if I'm investing, it's because I believe what they're doing. So that's super cliche, but like founder is the first thing that you're gonna look into when you're investing.
Yeah,
And I'm not the guy that is gonna be like, oh, the founder has to be like that guy that works like 24 hours a day, doesn't sleep, doesn't spend money, the guy that would never do a secondary. And like I think that's all bullshit. The founder has to feel good about what he's doing.
Yeah.
And if you make him a prisoner of his own company, he's not gonna feel good about it. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't believe that. I think it's and I think the world is already changing towards that direction. Even on when you look at like later deals, like private equity, the way they invest, like to make your founder like a prisoner on whatever, like, oh no secondaries or whatever. Like, dude, the guy wants to, you coming in because you love his company. Let the guy enjoy a bit.
yeah, true.
He has to like be able to enjoy, to still have that, that drive,
The drive, of course.
to keep building. Like the guy, oh no, when he's 50, then he sells the company and then he buys a house in whatever,
Boca Raton,
in
yeah.
Boca,
Yeah.
and then he plays golf the whole day. Like, dude,
Yeah.
it's So I always look at investors, at founders and companies that have this I'd say similarities with me on this
Mhm.
part, and stuff that I really believe on. I like the American market more than any other market for investments, for obvious reasons. It's the most competitive, but also if you like hit the right vein, it's jackpot.
Yes.
So and stuff that I usually I'm already like a customer. So
Yeah.
I've invested in supplement brands, on protein bars, matcha, coffee. Like I have several cars. So I have
Yeah.
several different investments, all stuff that I love and that I
Mm-hmm.
believe, and that I can help. So
Do you use filter shower heads? I'm curious.
no, I don't.
Okay, good. Then we're gonna have to have a conversation after this.
Okay.
You'll be a customer first. Well, we'll get one for free, but we'll chat after. No, and
No, but I've been reading a lot about it though.
okay,
Like,
good. So then we're definitely gonna have to talk.
Okay.
No, but I like that and I appreciate that. And I mentioned earlier, like I'm raising some money with the help of Abba over there, who's we'll talk off camera, a legend. And a lot of the conversations I've been having, the successful ones have been pretty much guys who have invested just in founders, that they're like, hey, like we see what you've built already, and we see the drive you have, and so on and so forth. And I'm like you, I'm a guy that likes nice things. So I never want that to be, because I feel like there's a negative connotation, like you're saying, where guys have to be prisoners to their business. It's like, well, dude, let the guy fucking cash out a little bit
Yeah.
and like enjoy. What's he gonna do? Work hard for 5, 7, 10 years, and like he's still living in a 1-bedroom condo, grinding away while his company's making 100 million in revenue or whatever, whatever that number is. So I can appreciate that, and I do agree, and I'm sure Abba would agree as well, that is loosening up the way people are investing now in founders, because it's just also just a different world.
Yeah.
It's not what it was, right? These businesses are growing rapidly, and it's less corporate than it used to be at a smaller scale. Like you mentioned before, as it grows, the corporate vibe has to eventually step in. But no, I can definitely appreciate that. Enough about business. I want to end off with something. I want to end off with relationships a little bit, if you're cool to touch on that
Yeah.
topic.
Okay.
The reason being is because I'm married. I also just had a son, and
I also invested in this. So
there you go. Hey, show it.
I'm completely addicted to
Pouches?
nicotine. I mean, I was a smoker
Yeah.
for a good. I'm again Greek Italian. It's
Yeah.
impossible for not to be a smoker.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
It's in the blood.
But then I'm now
Healthier.
just nicotine pouches,
Healthier.
which it's much healthier.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
it
No,
helps
it
a lot.
is.
Gets you
I
sharp,
got Zins in my
focused,
bag.
yeah,
So
no more Zins.
Hey,
Sesh. from
Sesh,
now on.
done.
Plus, they're much tastier and
okay.
etc.
Hey,
So
done. You have a new customer.
I'll give you some.
But to the relationship point, I've been in a very long-term relationship, and I have a son now, and I've always had this argument with entrepreneurs who said, "Oh, relationships, they take away from the entrepreneurship. You can't be in a relationship and grow a big business." And I've always been the one guy fighting the 20 guys across from me, like my buddies or acquaintances, or because I've also invested in a lot of businesses, and they're always arguing. I'm always 1 against 20. So I want your opinion on: do you think it's possible to build? Because you've built. I know you're still building. But do you think it's possible to build a business of your size while being in a relationship? Do you believe that? Or do you believe that relationships take away from what you can build in a business?
For me to have someone that I love, that trusts me, looks up to me, and I can teach and learn from, it's all upside. I don't see any downside. Believe me, I get shit from like, oh, but the guy, how he can run the company, he's always watching tennis and stuff. Like, dude, you see me on TV and I'm watching tennis, it's 2-hour match,
Yeah.
Like I was doing a meeting before, I'm gonna do another after, and it's
Yeah.
not your fucking business what I'm doing.
True.
But I get this kind of stuff all the time.
I
Like,
can imagine.
and you get this kind of stuff, and then you can get pissed on that, or you can look and say, fuck, I'm cool as fuck because I can do that, and still
Yes.
I'm doing this.
Yes.
When people come to me and like, oh fuck, I don't think even investors or whatever, like, and not in a bad way, like they're concerned, they invested and they want to like, oh, Georgios is I think because I see like on Instagram and he's traveling and this and that, and that's cool as fuck because I know I'm doing my stuff.
Yeah.
I know I'm running my business.
Of course.
And I mean, people think that I'm living the best life ever, so I'm just doing both.
Yeah.
And I think on a relationship level, it's the same. Like for me to with my fiance, with Aryna, it's good because first she's super accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I can say she's on the legend level already
Yeah.
on her field, and to see how like a top performing athlete operates on a day-to-day and etc. is great for me. I learn a lot from them, from the relationship with the team and etc. And on my side, I would say that she has a completely different view also, because like I'm a top performer in what I do, and then we can enjoy each other's like successes.
Yeah.
Help each other's failures. Like for me to be able to have someone, and plus like my life was past like 5 years, I was traveling nonstop.
Yeah.
I didn't have a schedule like, okay, I'm going to go to Dubai tomorrow, and then in 3 days, I don't know when I'm going to go after that. I'm just like checking,
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I should meet with this master franchisee in Europe or this or that. And then I would just like, now she has a super strict schedule. Every place that she has to play, I have to work.
Yes.
And I would already go to these places.
Yeah.
So basically now I have her schedule that kind of guides mine schedule.
Yeah.
And then I already know where I'm going to be. And it's
Yes.
even better on a standard of setting up the meetings, knowing where I'm going to be there. And it helps a lot. So
it's giving you a schedule essentially.
and plus it gives you the confidence,
Yeah.
like you're with someone that loves you, that it's not with you because of anything else. They with you because they admire you.
Yeah.
And the other way around also. She knows I'm not concerned about how much money she's making. The same on the other side.
Of course.
We got together in a super like organic, like natural way. And for me, I think if we just look at everything that happened in our lives after we got together, you cannot argue against it. Like
Yeah.
it's
It's only been up.
It's been very good for both of us. And I mean, I've always been like bullish in relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that helps a lot. Not
too.
just like with your loved one,
Yeah.
but with your family,
Yeah.
with your friends.
Yeah.
Most of my friends, they're my friends for 20 something years, and I have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of people. I like a lot of people. But to have that strong bond, that strong connection with someone that you know that you can trust, that gives you a lot of confidence too. And alongside with having God, that is like the biggest companion and is going to be the biggest companion ever, to have this physical relationships and companions that you can trust, I think that also adds, and it's all about relationships at the end of the day.
I agree. I think you know, speaking of a relationship with your significant other, your family, your friends, if I see relationships like as an investment in a way. Like if you invest into it, like what you can get back from a relationship, like a good relationship, is incredible. Like can truly be life changing, right?
Yeah.
You invest, you know, at the end of the day, it's hard work. Like being in a relationship with somebody, especially you know, it always depends on whether you're on your come up or in your position where you're traveling all the time, you're super busy. But I think if you make that investment, like it comes back tenfold. I think it's the most important thing, and I think people are scared, generally speaking, especially in the business world, entrepreneurs are scared to make that investment. But I'm talking to a bunch of entrepreneurs. I'm like, guys, like you've invested, you know, your whole life, essentially 10, 15 years into being an entrepreneur. You're scared to invest into like another human being, like something that actually, you know, can and hopefully does stick around forever. Like, so I see it in the weirdest way. I'm like, I don't know how or why people are so afraid to invest
I
in a
think that's
significant other.
it's one of this like myth that
Yeah, I agree.
you know,
Yes.
and then you look at this last phase or like last generation on all of this like crazy tech entrepreneurs and guys that became like super famous, almost trillionaires, like the guys we mentioned before,
Yeah.
like the Elons and stuff, and when you compare yourself to these guys in order to take a decision in your life, first, dude, you have to be a bit more humble, please.
Yeah.
Like, you know, no, because yeah, these guys in
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, they don't do that. Yeah, dude, it's like 10 guys or 20 guys, and they're gonna
Yeah.
make $50 billion.
Yeah.
Most likely, I hope you do, but most likely you're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So if I have to relate to people that, you know, that did stuff like that I look up to, but closer to my,
Yeah.
you know, my standard, my
Yes.
my life, and
Yeah.
and I think like if maybe it's a way of creating this confidence towards themselves, like yeah, I'm doing everything, I'm doing the full like cake recipe here.
Yeah.
So yeah, because whatever Zuckerberg was not dating, I'm not gonna date.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, you're not gonna be Zuckerberg either way. If you're dating, if you're jerking off in your room by yourself, you're not gonna be Zuckerberg. You know,
I agree. No, I agree with you. It's a part of like the brand, you know, like, oh, I can't fall in love or be with a woman because it's like, yeah, I gotta be grinding 24/7. Bro, fuck
cool.
off.
If you love like grinding, go there and
No, of course.
grind.
But even then, it's like you know, like I spent a lot of my years in my relationship where I barely saw her because I was in grind mode, and I still am. But now I'm just more cognizant of my time. Like you also have to get better with your time.
What I mean is that the problem is, if you're doing that because you think that is going to be one of the key factors of your success,
Yeah.
you're going to be disappointed because first, you're not going to be a trillionaire.
Yeah.
Second, you're going to be single, dude. You know, like
Yeah.
no experience. Then you
Yeah.
don't know how to hook up with anyone.
Yes.
You don't
Yeah.
know any
Yeah.
good lines when you go to a bar or whatever. So
Yeah.
you have to, you know, like be
Yeah.
able to, or okay, there is some outliers always, and
Sure.
and then we cannot take the outliers as like the average Joes, which I really think it's us. Like, okay,
Yeah.
one is a bit more successful, a bit less successful. One did this, or the other one did that, but you know, like we're on the regular people like range
Yes.
over here.
Absolutely.
So like take this as the example, and don't think you're so different, and then you have to do that because those guys that
Guys
are
did
actually super different did it.
Yeah.
And even on, I think that's one of the secrets of Oakberry was always like treating everyone in a very similar way. Doesn't matter, like, because people, they always like think too much. oh, we're gonna do Dubai. We have to like adjust this and that. We're gonna do the States, and then we're gonna do like South Korea, and it's different cultures. It's not. Everybody likes cool shit, and more everybody is driven towards the same direction. So like don't think that and you think something's cool, even though you think something's cool, like this is super cool, Oakberry is super cool, and I built this, but I'm gonna change it in order to attend some other market.
Yeah.
Dude, if it's cool for you, you're not that different. You're not a fucking genius. It's gonna be cool to 99% of the people.
Yeah.
You leave the 1% that doesn't want to eat your shit because they don't think it's cool. Okay, don't eat it.
You don't have to appeal to everybody at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's very like what product appeals to everybody. You look at Apple, the biggest in the world, and still you have people like, I'm an Android user.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
fine, bro. Sick. Cool. I'm good with it.
No problem.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we'll end it off with this before our famous question. What's the most, obviously Aryna is the biggest, the best at what she does, world number one. What is the most important thing, the most important lesson that you've learned from her?
I think the way she shakes off and move towards the next tournament after a tough loss or something, and not just on court, but she had some tough losses throughout her whole life, and yeah, just I mean, because we cannot really understand that because of the amount of work that you put in,
of course,
towards a specific like tournament and match, and then you lose that match because of your mistake or an error that you made. To be able to, in 24 hours, shake that off, go back on court, and work again with the same will. Like I think that's like whenever I wake up and I'm not feeling good, I said, dude, she was, she lost in Wimbledon 2 days ago, and she's going on court tomorrow because she's already looking towards the next one.
Yeah.
And she doesn't need, like, she already has everything. She's number one for whatever, 200 weeks. She has the money. She has this. She has the name. She could do whatever she wants, and she's going to still be there, show up, do that. No complaints, 5, 6, 7 hours on court. So yeah, I'm not gonna be bitching around like about it. I'm gonna do my stuff. So I think that's a big lesson.
Yeah, fuck, I can't even imagine that. That must be insane. Okay, well listen, we are the MBH podcast. Okay, money buys happiness. So Georgios, I want to know, do you believe money buys happiness?
That's always like a super tricky question. But I do. I think that it's with money comes a lot of stuff, and a lot of responsibility too. And depending on how is your take on money, you can have a super fruitful life. You can have very deep relationship with people. You can, if you think about money as just something that it's going to make you able to buy whatever physical items you want, then I think it's too shallow. But having the ability of making sure that you can provide to the ones you love, if that's not happiness, I don't know what's
What
happiness.
else? Yeah.
So,
I agree. My goal is always, of course, making money. I want nice things. My goal is always take care of my family first.
Yeah.
That's always been the goal. You achieve that, then the nice things, and you're good to go.
if you can do everything at the same time, even better.
Fuck, why not? Exactly. I always say two things. Here's my motto from asking literally hundreds of people. I always say it's a two-pronged approach. It's how you make your money. Do you enjoy the way you make it? And that's what brings the longevity factor of it. And then the second thing is what you do with your money, right? So if you make your money in a way that you truly enjoy, beautiful. That's 50% of it. The other 50% is what you do with it. Did you take care of your family, or did you just go blow your money on Lamborghinis? You know what I mean? Again, can you do both? Beautiful. That's even better. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, what'd you do with it? So if you achieve both those things, I mean, why can't money buy you happiness, right?
Fully agreed.
100%. Brother, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank
what a
you,
conversation. Guys. This has been incredible. We'll definitely have to run it back for sure in a year or so as things progress with you guys, and we'll bring it back for another round.
I'm ready.
Awesome. Brother, thank you so much. Guys, if you've made this far, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'll see you guys next week.